John Harris here for MuscularDevelopment.com, bringing you coverage of the Legion Sports Fest in Long Beach, California. Coverage brought to you by Legion Sports Fest. We just wrapped up judging for 6 IFBB Pro League divisions. First up was fitness. Not going to really comment on that because all we have in the judging for fitness is the physique round, which is just a portion. Obviously, the routines will play very, very heavily into how they place, and that's going to happen in just a couple hours at the finals. So let's get right to it. 212 division was the last division judge, but I'm going to talk about it first because that's what a lot of us are interested in. So coming into this, the heavy favorite was former Olympia champion David Henry, the original Giant Killer. David looked really good. Was not the very best David Henry I've ever seen, but in this lineup today, I still believe it's more than good enough to walk away with a victory. Dave Henry has the size, the shape, the muscle maturity and detail, fullness to walk away with this title. Looked really good. That being said, I got to give it up to Michael Toscano making his pro debut. Michael from New York City. In his amateur days, he was a men's physique competitor, switched over to bodybuilding. A lot of people didn't think he was going to be successful at it. Very successful. He turned pro at nationals last year, and here he is a year later making his debut. Condition, Michael Toscano had the best condition up there, I believe, in the 212 today. Shredded, glutes, hams, everything. Upper body, thick and full, small, tight waist. Only knock I would give on Michael for the future, and I'm sure he knows it, needs more leg development, needs more quads, more hams. That'll come in time, I'm sure, but a very strong second place. A couple other guys. Esteban Alejandro Fuquene Bravo looked really, really good. Wide shoulders, small waist, flaring quads. Condition was right on point. And Felipe Lobos, also in the mix. Smaller guy compared to him, but boy, flow, shape, structure, symmetry, everything was in place. That's a 212 division. Classic division, as predicted, it came down to last year's defending champion, Danny Yunin, from San Diego, originally from Iraq. We did a Raw Online report a couple weeks back. And Arash Rabar, who's been as high as second at the Olympia. Very, very popular, very well-established competitor from New York. Two very, very different physiques. I'd consider Danny Yunin more of a classic look, for sure. Smaller waist, rounder muscle bellies, smaller joints. Condition was right there. Arash is a thicker guy, carries a lot more muscle. Certain areas of his, like his chest, shoulders, and triceps, very, very dominating. I've seen Arash better. I've seen him tighter. Particularly one area I thought he needed to be a little tighter in was his legs from the back. It still came down to a pretty close battle. Not sure which way it's going to go. I would probably give the nod to Danny on this one, but we'll see what the judges do. Looked like third place was most likely going to be former bodybuilder Vladimir Sizov from Las Vegas by way of Russia, I'm assuming. Vladimir, not the biggest man, but boy, shape, structure, condition, very well put together. Special mention to two other guys, Toto De Jong, very thick, excellent shape. Toto would do equally well, I believe, in the 212 bodybuilding division. And of course, Paul Vu from Australia, another standout. Tiny, tiny waist, great taper, great quad sweep. Not a huge guy, Paul Vu, but boy, if you want shape and structure and cuts, he had all that. Another thing I'm going to notice about the classic division in general, especially now that we have the trunks that are smaller and it looks more like bodybuilding trunks, you can see a good amount of these guys, they're really not true classic, and I think they're getting weeded out as time goes by. A lot of these guys were just bodybuilders who didn't have enough size to do very well in the open or the 212, and they're in classic. This is not a knock on them, you know, they're pros, they all earn their way to be here, and they earn their right to be here, I should say. But it's becoming very clear who has that classic look now and who doesn't. The division has kind of been struggling to find its way and find its criteria over the past couple years, but I think they're getting there right now. Women's physique. So we had last week's runner-up from Romania, Margita Zamalova, who took runner-up to Valentina Machina back in Romania. Clear-cut winner as far as I'm concerned. Had the total package, size, shape, cuts, presentation. Margita had everything. She had champion written all over her, looked like a winner. That being said, the rest of the top four, and I say top four because the final comparison came down to these four, all looked excellent. I'm not sure how it's going to shake out. That was Laura Richards, Sarah Hayes McGill, and a new pro from China. This is her second pro show, but the first I've ever heard of her, Bian Ruyung. We did an interview with her that'll be up later. You know, anytime we have someone who's really good and we've never heard of her, people are going to talk, and people are already talking about Bian from China. So check out that interview if you want to learn more about her. Men's physique. Going into this show, on paper, Kyron Holden had the clear advantage because Kyron was third place at the Olympia a couple months ago. Obviously, the two guys who beat him are not here. In fact, I don't believe nobody in the top 10 of the Olympia was here today. So as expected, Kyron, fairly easy win for Kyron. That being said, we had some excellent people next to him. Special mention goes out to Jason. I'm not sure how you say this. It's Huynh, Huynh. Jason looked fantastic, as did a guy from Brazil named Diego Montenegro. They were both put on each side of Kyron and switched around, so I'm guessing that's the top three. Finally, in figure, of course, we had 31 fantastic competitors, a lot of amazing physiques up there. Looks like it's coming down to Wendy Fortino and Larhana Robinson. Now, we're just a couple hours away. Finals are going to start just 3.5 hours away as we're recording this, so you don't have long to see how it all turns out. Follow along in the play-by-play on musculardevelopment.com. We've got a bunch of interviews up. We got paparazzi pics. Tonight we're going to be doing more play-by-play at the finals, get some winner interviews. We're trying to bring you the most coverage we can, so please stay right here at musculardevelopment.com for more action from the Legion Sports Fest here in Long Beach, California. For Ron Harris, Muscular Development, thanks for watching.